Welcome to Office Hours at TradersPost for August 12th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, Marketing Manager here at TradersPost, alongside Mike Christensen, co-founder and CSO. We're always working to make TradersPost better day in and day out. Each week, we take a deep dive into all things TradersPost, answering your questions, gathering your feedback, and helping you get in the most out of the best advanced trade execution platform in the universe. And to that end, we encourage you to submit your questions in the chat, and we'll get to them by the end of the stream. First, a little bit of housekeeping. We are having a company meeting this week, and so we will not be having price action live on Thursday and Friday, right, Mike? We're not going to be trading live from from the road.
No intention. We'll do tomorrow and Thursday.
That's right. We'll still have a blueprint episode on Thursday that will be pre-recorded, and that will be about giving you the secret sauce, giving you the instructions that I use for AI in order to turn a YouTube video or whatever it is into a Pine script for TradingView. So if ever you wanted to use AI, either in Cursor or on Claude Code or what have you, Gemini CLI, whatever it is, in order to get started, to bootstrap up an indicator for TradingView in order to be able to trade it or just to have an indicator on your chart. This is going to be the stream for you. Definitely go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel in order to be notified when that stream goes live. We won't have an after hours on Friday, so that'll be skipped as well. But we'll be back next Tuesday in the morning for Price Action Live, which are a live trading show at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course for office hours next week. All right. Today, we'll be talking about the age-old question: discretionary trading versus algorithmic trading. Mike, when I first heard about TradersPost, I'll admit I was part of the crew who thought, hey, TradersPost is just all about automating my trades. That I want to set it and forget it, or not set it and forget it, but generate buy and sell signals that trigger automatically and then get set to TradersPost. And then, I could trade multiple different markets, all kinds of different benefits, sight unseen. But I could not be more wrong, right? TradersPost is far more than just an automated trading platform. That's just like one of the ways you can use it, and it can actually still appeal to discretionary traders. Before we head down the path, just to lay out the case for both, can you just give us a little bit of a summary here as what's the difference between manual trading, algorithmic trading, or systematic trading and discretionary trading in the minds of the retail trader?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Discretionary, in my mind, means that it is at your discretion to enter and exit trades. You might use indicators or maybe some signals to tell you when to get in out, but ultimately the entry and exit is at your discretion. For some instances, some people are semi-discretionary, so they might allow a system to enter the trade for them, but then they manage the exit on a discretionary basis. And then in other instances, there are fully systematic traders that allow, a system to execute in a fully automated way. All the entries and exits are managed by a system that they deploy. And that's what a lot of people started using TradersPost for first, was setting up automated strategies from TradingView or TrendSpider, where they've already done all the back testing, they've done the walk forward testing, they've got a system they're happy with, and they go ahead and automate the trades from there. But over time, we've developed a more robust tool set that helps traders in all aspects of execution management, and that includes the discretionary trades as well. As you might see on our live streams, both me and Tom are using lines on the chart in order to execute trades on a discretionary basis, and we're using TradersPost in order to scale those trades across multiple prop firm accounts. And not only that, but TradersPost manages all the risk as well. So position sizing, take profit, stop losses, managing the orders with all my strategies enabled. I'm ready.
Superhero movies of all time.
And that is a good way to actually use the platform to manage the ongoing risk, as well as the execution of how it should be done with each account. So that's sort of the blend. But obviously, we support fully systematic automated traders who are looking to automate from TrendSpider and TradingView. And we also support the discretionary traders who just want to trigger a trade and have it trade multiple accounts at the same time. As we expand to include analytics at some point, I would think that pretty much anybody would want to use the platform, because then you'd send your trades through TradersPost and track all your performance as well. So really, we're looking to serve the whole audience of retail traders out there in stocks, options, futures, and crypto.
I love the idea that you brought up there for the that you can be semi-automated or semi-discretionary, because you have this. People have this idea that that you either have a system that's completely automatic, or you have the system that you have to trade by hand. And I like the mix. There are all kinds of situations where I know if this setup happens on this chart, I want an exit signal from whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't want to have to like remember what that setup was or anything like that. I just want to know, like, if this happens on whatever chart I'm dealing with, just send an exit signal to get me out of a situation. Sort of like past Tom protecting future Tom. But the same thing is true for entries. Sometimes there are entries for setups that I know are perfect, and I just want to be in the trade, or not even in the trade. Maybe I want to add to a position. I have a long-term portfolio that I just want to add to, and I could have that set up in order to send those signals through. But since I've been dipping my toes into the morning trades, the intraday trades with you on Price Action Live, it's been very interesting to manually trade on the chart and be able to send the signals over and have those signals be propagated across multiple different accounts at the same time. So the automated section happens because of the of TradersPost, but it's not algorithmic. I am still making the decisions on the chart, which is, when I'm trading in that way, that's what I like, right? There's a lot of traders that what they like is the feeling of having their hands on the wheel, and they're the ones actually controlling it. That's the discretionary part, because then you get all kinds of different benefits. You have the flexibility of being able to enter and exit a trade at your whim. You have the idea of being able to consider multiple different criteria, more than you might be able to program into an automated system, right? We've seen the situations where we're trading, and maybe there's a news event that day. Maybe there's a tweet that came out. Well, good luck trying to automate Donald Trump or Elon Musk tweeting. Like, that's going to be tough, but it can create opportunities that are available for us in order to get into a trade. So we'll have a big green or red candle. You'll be like, hey, I can actually scalp here 15 points and be happy with that move. So that discretionary component becomes super, super useful to do. And I totally thought you could not do that with TradersPost before, or didn't make sense to until now.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're kind of shifting to this we're trying to use new language now to describe TradersPost. Interestingly, I was at a Denver traders meetup last night, and I kind of explained what we do to a couple different people. And one gentleman that I spoke to, Dave, another person had walked up and started talking to us and asked what I did. And I started explaining TradersPost and how we help automate trading strategies, but we also help people do account scaling and manage risk. And Dave interrupted me. He was like, "Whoa, let me actually try. Let me see if I can explain how TradersPost actually works." And I was like, "By all means, I'd love to hear this." And he goes, "So basically, they have a platform that allows you to send off alerts from places like TradingView and TrendSpider in order for you to send it to a broker that maybe those platforms don't even support." And he made a good point about how we support E-Trade and Robinhood, but those aren't brokers that you can actually get support for on TradingView. So in many cases, it's a great venue to send in a signal that allows you to support things that you couldn't normally get support for, right? And so he goes on to explain that it goes through any broker you want, and you can trade multiple accounts at the same time. So he really kind of nailed it. I was like, that's exactly what we do. Fantastic. But as we sort of expand our offering here, I think I'm really interested in building in automated tools for risk management, especially win rate based risk management. So as you send in trade after trade after trade, if it's looking back at the last 10 trades and it's starting to see that you're slipping towards the loss side, it automatically starts to scale your positions down so that you're not taking on as much risk as your win rate starts to decrease. And, that would have really saved me today. I did not have a good close to the day today. So it's a great open, great start to the day, and decided to chase after trades. And it really, really hurt me. But having a risk management tool like this, I think would go a long way. And then, of course, as we expand, we're looking to offer more analytics tools, and that'll really help you keep track of all your trades across all platforms, across all brokers and all asset classes. So I think over the long run, we'd really like to be the best advanced execution engine out there that helps you trade in the best way possible.
To piggyback on what you were saying there about the idea of that you did overtrade today and you ended up with a loss that you didn't want to have. But the idea here, and this is something I've really loved, and it's just like blowing my mind here, introducing the idea of prop firms here into TradersPost. So you get to connect multiple different prop firm accounts to your TradersPost account, so that when the trade goes through, it gets replicated across all those different accounts. With things we've talked about before on other office hours, you guys could take a look at the our YouTube channel, but you can do position size multipliers, you can do all kinds of different account scalings, you can be long only, short only, site swap, all kinds of different things that are available to you, even as you connect to different prop firms. So like you can have one prop firm that's like maybe a smaller account of 50,000, and then another account that's at 150,000, and you're trading those with different risk parameters, which are great. You can even have automatic stop loss and take profit on one and another one not, and that's the one you're actually controlling. So it's just great. I just love the flexibility with that. But because you're able to, because you're doing this through the prop firm lens, you correct me if I'm wrong, you're not losing as much as if you blew out your own personal account.
Absolutely. Obviously, with prop firm trading, your risk is only the cost of the account, the cost of the activations, the cost of the resets or subscription. And if you lose a prop firm account, the theoretical loss might be as much as $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in losses that were sustained inside that futures account. Of course, this is all, for the most part, most people are trading simulated accounts. And if you lose that account, you've only lost the cost of purchasing that account, not real $5,000 that would come from a live futures account. If you've traded live futures, you will eventually witness the destruction that can take place from a levered product like futures in a live account, especially if it's small. If you're trading with $5,000 or $10,000, that money can disappear basically instantly. And the advantage with prop firm trading is obviously that risk reward proposition. The risk is only the cost of the account, and the upside is as many payouts as you can get from that firm.
All right, so there are the downsides then that you have with discretionary trading, right? You have your emotions that can come into play. It's hard to backtest that, because maybe the setups that you're looking for, you're looking at 6 different conditions, and maybe if 3 of them are true, you might get in. So it's hard to look back at your trades and replicate that exactly. You do a lot of trade journaling in order to analyze, well, what was I thinking at the time, and why did I take that trade? And it's more about learning yourself, because you're trading yourself and the market. It's like a 2 against 1 sort of situation when you're doing discretionary. Mm-hmm. But then I love the idea of being able, or essentially you get to mine, in the discretionary sense, you get to mine, hey, when I followed this setup again and again and again, I was actually right fairly often, or the risk reward was high enough to make it worthwhile, or whatever it is. And then you could turn that into the automated sense. So you can from your discretionary trades generate algorithmic trades, a setup, and then you could spend the time either coding that or hiring someone in order to do it, or use different tools so that you can send the buy and sell signals for those setups that you found manually work, and then you have that set up on that market. Which to me is just like the idea that I'm discretionary trading on using TradersPost. I'm scaling out to prop firm accounts, so then that's an interest. It's its own interesting angle. And then if I find in my own behavior that there's things that I can replicate, well, that I could spin out into my own thing on my own personal account and run that, and then continue with what I'm doing. So I get the benefit of when you're dealing with algorithmic trading, you can trade multiple different markets, you can trade multiple different strategies, all simultaneously, multiple different accounts, which is fantastic. And then also have the joy of the discretionary trading. And without something like TradersPost, without specifically TradersPost, I would never even have considered it. because doing any of the stuff like manually setting up these systems yourself, coding it or hiring someone to do it, it's a huge pain. And for the low cost of the monthly fee for TradersPost, you're able to get all this under the hood. All right, I want to show it. I just want to show you guys a quick clip from Price Action Live, where we're doing the discretionary trading on the chart, right? So literally, we are setting up drawings on the chart, lines on the chart that we've tied alerts to. So we're going to walk you through that in a moment, but I just want to show that to you from one of our episodes, actually our episode this morning.
I've got my strategies enabled. I'm ready to start receiving signals. And obviously we're trading with horizontal lines on TradingView here. So as I watch this candle start to pull back here, I'm going to look for a complete close below VWAP. And we're starting to form that third candle of the session. I want to see where
My
this
order
one
filled,
closes.
and it actually went through and got to TradersPost and executed at my at the prop firm before the alert showed up on on here. Interesting.
I've had that happen a lot. So essentially the webhook alert gets set up on the TradingView servers in the back end. And before it can even send back the signal to you indicating that it was triggered, it's already sent the webhook off to TradersPost.
All right, so I'm in my trade.
Did you go short then, Tom?
No, I went long.
Oh, you went long.
I'll only go short. I'm setting up a stop loss for underneath the session VWAP, and then if it goes down there, I'll enter into a short shortly after that.
Got it.
All right, so you guys can see on the chart over here, what I'm doing is that I have levels set up on my chart, lines set up on my chart. And if you guys go continue watching that video or any of the videos that we've seen on Price Action Live, you'll see that Mike has his own setup with his own levels on the chart. And what's fun is like, okay, I figured let's show everyone right now like how we actually go and set that up, right? So let's say you are inside of, let me share my screen 1 second.
Yeah, and I think the main thing I love about doing it this way, lines on the chart, is that I can just focus on the trade. I don't have to think about managing multiple prop firm accounts, position sizing in multiple prop firm accounts, or let's say if it's a much smaller account, maybe I don't want it to trade NQ signals at all. It should only be trading signals if it's M and Q, and I want to trade a lot smaller of a size. So I might disable the ability to trade NQ, and it would just reject the orders for that account, but then accept the orders for the bigger accounts. So it's a really nice way to basically say, if I'm trading 10, 12, 20 different prop firm accounts at the same time, and they're all at different stages, they're all different firms, different rules, I can basically dial in the settings for each of those firms and just focus on the trade itself. Send the trade in for the entry, send the exit signal, and it trades each of those accounts the way it's supposed to.
That's right. So let's go ahead and show you this on my chart. So I have just a standard TradingView chart. And since Mike has converted me to volume candles, no longer need the volume indicator. And so I could just I do Option H on my chart just to draw a line, right? Just a simple line. And the drawings that are most drawings that you have on TradingView, you can go ahead and create an alert on it. So I can right click over here, add alert on horizontal line, and I'll get the alert dialog box. Now, what I do, and there's different ways you can set this up. You might have your own different preferences for how nimble you want to be. What I do is that I just have the level trigger, the alert trigger, whenever the price crosses that. I don't choose crossing up or down. I just choose crossing if it crosses at all. Because the idea here is that I'm going to be dragging this level to the price. And as it oscillates around that price, I just want it to go ahead and trigger. So I'll show you that over here. A simple idea on the Microsoft stock. We're not going to be sending any alerts, or we're not going to be sending any message right now. So let me just set this up this way. So only once horizontal line, if I create this, and now if I drag this level to where the price is right now, as the price moves around, I'll run a new candle, it'll trigger. There we go. So now we have an alert that triggers at the bottom left. And then if this was set up in order to send a signal to TradersPost, it would go ahead and send a signal. But you'll notice on the right side over here, the alert is no longer active. So you guys see here, the alert on the right panel is now grayed out. And if I move this level again, let's say I move it up to over here, the alert will come back alive. It'll turn white again. And then when the price moves across that level again, it'll trigger that alert. So it's great. Once the alert fires once, because I have it set to only once, which is important, only once, I don't have to worry about turning it off or getting into the trade 2-3 times, and all of a sudden my position is 3-4 times bigger than I need it to be, which I find to be fantastic.
There's a couple of quirks here that throw people off the first time that they use lines on the chart in order to execute trades. If you are on, I'll come back to this one. The first is that if you move the line onto the current live candle, you risk that the alert will be triggered right away. Even if you drag it right onto the wick of the current candle, it's going to see that it's within the current candle, and it will execute the line right away. So you have to be careful to not bring the line into the current candle at any point on the candle. Otherwise it will execute. So what I usually do is try to keep it a little bit farther outside, wait till I'm ready to actually enter. And that also means that if I'm ready to enter, I can drop the line on any point of the current candle and it will execute right away. The other quirk that's worth paying attention to is if you've prepared your lines at market open. I think last Thursday, this happened to us, where right at market open, there was a gap up and my line was underneath the current price. But because the price was, the line was above the previous day's close and below the current open, it actually executed the line right away. And it got me into a trade before I was really ready. So you have to be careful about market open, and you've got to be careful about placing the line on an existing wick or on an existing candle at any point on the candle. Once you've gotten past those little quirks, I think the rest is pretty simple.
That's right. Now, I do keep my TradersPost dashboard open inside of one of my tabs so that I can see what's going on. And I also keep at least one of the accounts that I'm monitoring there as well, so that I can see when I'm actually in a trade. So I think I'm inside of a Top Step trade right now. I could just show that. Yeah, so I keep this open so I can be like, okay, yeah, the trade did actually open it up. I could see my positions are there. I don't have to necessarily worry about it, because you're not dealing with a set it and forget it sort of situation. You're dealing with something that's doing these things for you, but it's always very useful in order to keep an eye, because there are quirks with the different platforms, especially we've seen with with any platform, there's going to be quirks, so you want to keep an eye out. All right, so here I'll just show you how you can set a line on the chart in order to send an alert. But what do you actually do in TradersPost in order to get this set up in order to discretionary trade? So over here, if I go back to my TradersPost, I can go ahead under strategies and create a new strategy. Let's just call this a test strategy for the purposes of this video. And I am going to set this up for, let's go with futures. Here we're asking you if this is going to be systematic or discretionary. I'll choose discretionary. It doesn't actually change anything within the functionality of TradersPost. It's just for you to be able to note that for your strategy. I'm actually going to allow auto submit. Actually, I'll turn off auto submit at the moment because I don't want that to, actually, never mind. I'll leave that on. Click on save, and my strategy is not created. Now I have to go ahead and create a subscription, which means I have to tie my broker or prop firm account or crypto exchange, whatever it is I'm trying to trade, to the strategy. I'm subscribing it to the strategy. And I'm setting up right now the default settings anytime I'm connecting one of these connections to the strategy. So here I want to allow for both bullish and bearish. I am going to set my position size to 1. So fixed quantity set to 1. If I wanted to, I could have different types of ways of calculating these things. I'm going to allow add to position just in case I decide I want to keep on adding to a given trade. And I'll for my entry order type, I'm going to set it to market, as well as my exit order type. I'm going to set that to market. That's what I prefer. I'm not going to set up a take profit and stop loss, but I could set one up automatically within the subscription settings. I'm going to save and connect to broker. And now I'm going to connect it, let's say, to my Top Step account. So here I have my test strategy set up. I'm going to leave auto submit off for now because I don't want it to actually trigger a trade inside my account. And then here, all right, all these different settings will be the default settings I just had on the previous screen. Perfect. So I'm going to click on enable, which also saves it. And it's all set up. Now that it's set up, it's not yet connected to my TradingView, to the alert lines on TradingView. So I'm going to click on the webhook signal button on the top right. I'm going to grab the webhook URL by clicking copy. And then when I head over to my TradingView, on this line that I'm using, I'm going to edit the alert, or I could right click on the line, click edit the alert. And in my message field, in my notifications field for webhook URL, I'm going to make sure I'm sending the signal to that webhook. All right. And now this line, I want to use it to enter into long trade. So I have to make sure that I send a message along. That is the message that TradersPost is waiting for in order to get into this trade. I can easily get that from over. One moment. I can get that from over here, where I have a sample template I can use. So I'm going to grab this from TradingView. And I'll paste that here. So here, with this JSON message that's here, I have placeholders from TradingView. These are the double curly braces that will be replaced with here the ticker of the chart I'm on, the price at the time of the alert, my current time, and the interval for the chart. And I'm setting up a buy. So I'm just going to call this buy test. And when I save this, it'll now be available. All right, so I can always go inspect this alert if I want to. I could always go and change the details of it. It's always going to be there. But now if I go ahead and move this line up to where the price is right now and have it trigger a trade, all right, it triggered a trade. The alert is now off. I can see that the trade actually was sent. Let me go take a look at TradersPost. 1 second. So here on TradersPost, I can head over to the signals. And I can see that alert came through. If I click on that, I'll see this is the JSON message that I had before. And it didn't enter a trade automatically because I have it set to auto submit off. So I'd actually have to approve this trade if I wanted to go through. If I had the auto submit set to on, obviously it would show up directly inside of my my prop firm account.
So one recommendation here for everyone watching is to always make sure that you send along the price or signal price. It's the same property. In this case, Tom has sent over the price. And the reason for that is for us to do things like automated take profit and stop loss if the provider allows bracket orders. In the case of Project X, they don't currently yet provide bracket orders, but Trade-Avate and many other brokers do. We can also estimate the entry on the paper simulator, and there's a bunch of other reasons to send along the signal price. So I always recommend sending that along.
Right. There's no downside for something that.
Right. It doesn't change anything about the strategy, but it allows us to calculate your P&L. It can give you a better estimation of price slippage. There's a whole host of reasons to send it along.
Now, let's say I wanted to, I'm in the trade and I want to go ahead and exit this trade. I might want to have another line on the chart in order to do that. That's pretty simple. I add another line on the chart. Just for the sake of visibility, I'm going to switch this color to red. I could even name it in the text field. I could call this exit. All right, so my exit line, right click on it, add alert. Since I've already set up the previous alert, my webhook will already be pre-made. In my message, I'll replace it with the same sort of JSON message I had before for the entry, but instead of action buy, I'm going to have action exit. Now, this could be used either for the take profit or the stop loss, right? Because it just depends on where I'm placing it versus the entry price for whether or not this will be a take profit or stop loss ultimately. But as far as the command is concerned, it'll just be an exit in order to exit the position. So if I click on this to create, and now if, let's say, this was away and I wanted to move this up in order to exit my position, I can move it to there. It'll trigger an alert. And then on TradersPost, under signals, I'll have this exit order that shows up. All right. Again, it's not automatic because I don't have it set to auto submit. All right. So that's pretty cool. When we're on TradingView, literally you can add as many alerts and lines and drawings as you want. We're using lines right now, but you can do this on indicators. You can do this on custom drawings. Anything that allows you to tie an alert to it, you can set this up. So you can use your favorite indicator in order to do this. You can use multiple drawings. One thing I like to do is after I've created the different levels, I'll go ahead in the objects menu on the right side, and I'll group the drawings together, right click, create a group, and I'll use this for trading. So I can rename this to TradersPost alerts, for example. Plus, I can always copy this if I wanted to. Oh, I thought I could do that over here. Okay, right. If I control click or command click all the different drawings, I could right click copy, and then I could paste it on another ticker, right? So let's say I was on.
Yeah, one thing I've
one.
run into with that, though, is make sure that there's no alerts tied to those lines when you copy them over to another chart. I've run into some quirkiness on TradingView for that. So as long as the lines are just lines and they don't have current alerts tied to them, you should be set.
Are you sure? Because it doesn't copy the alerts over. It only copies over the drawings. I've never had it where the alerts come over.
Maybe there was a bug on the day that I did that, but
yeah,
it actually triggered the alert on the other chart from where I copied it from. So I made a rule for myself to never copy a line that has an alert tied to it.
Okay. All right. Scrub that from the record. Editor, cut this part out of the video. All right. The last thing I wanted to show you guys there is that we only connected it to one prop firm account, but on TradersPost, of course, I can go ahead to that strategy that I created, click on subscribe, and then tie it to as many accounts as I want. Now, when I connect it to this next prop firm account, I can decide, hey, I don't want it to be just like it was on the other one. I want to go ahead and allow for this position size to be a position size 2, to take more risk on this one, but let me go ahead and set a take profit and stop loss of let's call it a certain amount. Let's call it 0.75 basis points. All right, I can't do that on Top Step. I forgot. I can't do that on Top Step. I could do that inside of another account if I was connected to a broker or what have you. So forgive me for that. It's great that TradersPost wouldn't just save the information to make me think it was set up. It properly told me that it wasn't there. Again, protected me from myself. All right, so I'm just going to enable this. And now I have 2 subscriptions for the strategy, which I can see over here on the strategy 2 subscriptions. And if I click on that, I'll be able to see the 2 subscriptions that are set up there. Couple of things you're going to want to keep in mind before you wrap up your kit before the end of the day. You want to make sure that your alerts don't fire by accident. So either go ahead and make sure that you pause all your alerts. And as a good measure, I find it's useful just to go my strategy. Under the 3 dots, click on disable. And if I disable the strategy, then no alerts will fire through. Because both Mike and I have sat there and heard order filled randomly as we forgot that our signals were still set up. Works great when make money.
Your other option, of course, is to head to strategies and just disable the strategy, which would then block the incoming webhook request. That's what I do at the end of my trading session usually, is to just go in and find my 2 strategies and disable them both. So even if a webhook request is made in some rogue way, it doesn't matter. It's going to be ignored.
That's right. And then I have to also remember, turn on my strategy when I start my trading, as opposed
Also
to
true.
I'm already with a perfect entry and then nothing happens. Oh my God. Pretty cool. All right. So anything else there? I know it's a simple setup. There's all kinds of different things you can do for this. This is just really the building blocks for you to develop your own toolkit. But Mike, is there anything here that you think I've missed?
I don't think so. That's the gist of it. If you watch our live stream in the mornings, you'll see how we do it live on the charts, and you can see how we're managing the positions when they come in. Maybe one question that often people have is, well, once I've sent this signal off to TradersPost, how do I know that things are working? Well, there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can go to the strategy dashboard where we will show you your open P&L for any open positions, as long as the broker supports that. Again, Project X is somewhat limited at the moment, so it's not going to show you open P&L for Project X accounts. If you're with a broker like TradeView for your prop firm, then you could just open up your TradeView account and watch those incoming trades. And that's another thing you see us do on the live streams, where we have a small snippet of the window so you can see the open P&L and live P&L that comes from the TradeView window. So the request comes in, trades across a bunch of different accounts, across multiple TradeView accounts, multiple prop firm accounts, but I'm just showing you a slice of those accounts in one TradeView login. So it's definitely possible to keep an eye on your trades. You can also, I've seen other people do this too. You can connect one of those brokers to your TradingView account, and you can see the trade actually show up on your chart. So in theory, you can send the signal from your line alert, but then it will relay back to TradingView, and then you'll see the open P&L for that one account that you've selected on TradingView. So there's a bunch of different ways to watch your open P&L.
And you can always exit manually if you wanted to. Like, you go into your broker account, crypto exchange, whatever it is, you can just go ahead and close it there. It's not a problem. You won't confuse TradersPost at all. Have we gushed enough about this platform?
About how amazing
could it be any better?
I don't think so. Let's keep gushing about it every week.
There's plenty of services that I subscribe to that I make zero money on, and there's a precious few where I do actually make money, and that's TradersPost. That's one of them. All right, guys, we're going to come back with the questions that we got for the last week. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsor.
Ask yourself this: are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider, or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, TradeView, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradersPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
And we're back. Just a reminder to everybody that we love your questions, feedback, and testimonials. So if you want, you can always leave a nice little testimonial for us to tell us just how wonderful TradersPost is. If you have any bad news or anything like that, save that for over here. Come to office hours and just let us know. Let us fix it. We want everything to be better and better and better. You can always go to feedback.traderspost.io if you want to submit a feature request or a bug request. We always take a look at those in order to help direct the development of the platform. Just like Jose did here on Canny, where they were asking for crypto prop firms. Any chance to get some of these firms to work with TradersPost? They were asking for Hiro Trader, Funder Pro, Finitive Funding, Top Tier Trader, and FTMO. Rest assured, Mike, what would be your your answer to this?
We've got to integrate crypto futures first, and I need to understand what partner many of these firms use. The reason prop firm trading works so well on TradersPost at the moment is that we have a direct integration with TradeView, which many of the prop firms use as their simulated environment and their live environment. And many other prop firms use Project X, which we've done an integration with. So we just need to do a little research on who the partners are in the crypto space. And then, of course, we would need to expand our asset offering. At the moment, we only support spot crypto. I believe most of these prop firms are crypto futures. Is that your recollection, Tom?
Yeah, I think they are crypto futures, but I've been trying to get like specific details what kind of asset is it? Is it really crypto futures? Is it a different type of perpetual futures contract?
Right.
It's unclear from the websites. So yeah, we'll reach out.
We need to sign up with a couple of these accounts and start to investigate it, and we'll figure out how we can do the integration. But we are excited to offer crypto futures as well as expanding our prop firm support for sure.
That's right. All right, next up, our next question comes in from Nene. Do you guys have a feature where it auto exits trades if a daily profit is reached? We've had this so many times, and I'm wondering now, Mike, now that you're doing the live wire, walking over the tightrope trading in the morning, do you want a feature like this? Is this something that you really see the need for?
I have it dialed in already on TradeView. So TradeView offers that feature within the account, and I essentially take the best day of the prop firm account, and I try to make sure that here's a quick tip here. If your profit target is $6,000 and you need a consistency score of 20% in order to get to your next payout, you essentially take 6,000 times 0.2. That means your best day can't be greater than $1,200. So you can go into TradeView and set your profit limit to $1,200. That way, in any given day, you don't make more than $1,200, and that keeps you right in line with the consistency score. After you've hit that $1,200, you can then go lower it by $1 and set it to $1,199. And that way, every day after that, it's always $1 below your best day. And that doesn't kick out your consistency score even further. You can always just leave it at 1,200 as well. But that's one trick you can use if you're using a broker like TradeView. TradeView has a lot of these really nice features kind of built in. And you can set those if you're trading stocks or options or something else like that. It's definitely something we can look into at TradersPost. Right now, though, we don't have a live P&L for the accounts connected to TradersPost, so we don't know when you've reached these profit targets. We'll have to build some infrastructure in order to support where your live P&L currently is, and then we can definitely look into providing these types of features like max daily loss for the day, total profit targets, things like that.
It's always so interesting the balance and act you and John have to do, where there's the prop firm features that people would want, which totally understand. And then there's like other types of trading that people do that if you're a prop firm trader and that's what you're normally used to and that's how you're introduced to markets, you might not be aware that there's so many other types of trading that people do with other kinds of feature sets and other kind of asset classes and what have you that have nothing to do with prop firms or the features that you're looking for. So it's always this balance and act in order to add the features to the platform that cater to the to a wide swath of people, but that also span the gambit across the different trading strategies and styles. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are just constantly, we're always like pinging you guys. Okay, how about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? And you guys have to figure out, no, all right, these are the 8 we have to do this month. Pretty interesting.
More often than not, we try to implement features that affect all of our customer segments. So not just the prop firm traders, but is this feature useful for people who trade stocks, for people who trade options, for people who are holding overnight, so on and so forth. In general, we try to keep it consistent so it affects everybody positively.
Awesome. Next question comes in from Ben, who asks, does TradersPost support dynamic sizing, automatically scaling depending on drawdown?
I'd like to. That's something that we would like to get to, where we look at your performance or drawdown over some rolling basis, and we start to size up or down according to the last 10 or 15 or however many trades you want to look at. The idea I have in mind at the moment is really a win rate based sizing mechanism. And you would define how many trades you want it to look back at And essentially, the lower the win rate, the lower the size, the higher the win rate, the higher the size, and you basically give it a range. We could also base it on drawdown. I'll take a look at how that might actually work as well, where it sizes down if you're too far away, or you can set it in intervals of drawdown, like every $1,000 of drawdown, I want it to reduce size, things like that. We're definitely exploring options like that so that risk management is built into your strategy a little more comprehensively.
Cool. And finally here, we have Chris N, who's asking, how can I force TradingView to send a notification so I can test it?
Use a line alert.
Exactly. So I essentially just go onto my chart here. I'll just show my screen here so you can see. I'll just create a line alert here on the chart. I'll add an alert. Let me just undo the settings. And essentially, I use a condition price greater than 0. Am I not on the right one here? 1 second here. If the price is greater than 0, I just go ahead and set an alert for that. And then once it gets created, as soon as it saves, it should send a signal. Oh, is the market closed? No, there it is. Perfect. And then the signal gets sent right away. And so I could just trigger an alert that gets sent to us. Perfect. There's no other way within TradingView in order to trigger an alert manually. This is the only way that I know how to do it.
You can create a price alert and send that through as a webhook as well. So we have line alerts. You could create a price alert. You could connect it to an indicator. You could connect it to our simple strategy. We also, if you look at our documentation, we have a simple strategy that tries to fire off an alert every other bar or so. And you can put that on the 1 second chart and it'll fire off a signal multiple times. Just make sure that you connect it to a paper account and you're not tossing around a bunch of trades in a live account, obviously.
I'm glad to hear, like, I've rarely seen people just accidentally just regularly send alerts to trade on a live account. I think people are just as paranoid as us to make sure that things are set correctly.
Stay paranoid, stay safe.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us today for office hours. It's been great to see you guys. Thank you for the questions you guys sent this week. But if you're watching this later on, you can go ahead and post a question inside of the chat here on YouTube. You can message us. You can go to feedback.traderspost.io. We want to make TradersPost the best trading platform for you. We want it to be a tool that's used every day for traders all over the world. And for that, we need your help. So go ahead and let us know. As you see, we are constantly improving the platform and constantly rolling out new features, and we do that for you guys. We'll be back next Tuesday, office hours at 3 p.m. But until then, we wish you, as always, happy trading.
Cheers, everyone.